Impossible today will one day become your warm-up. Then join Valentine the Motivator on Sweat. Strength will exceed anything tough. Your fitness, motivation, and music show. Every Saturday, 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. on 99.3 Nigeria Info. Sweat, your pre-workout word before the gym. Remember, you don't find willpower, you create it. Sweat today and smile tomorrow.
In the studio today. He's many things, but let me narrow it down. When it comes to production, when it comes to visual, when it comes to transforming your ideas to motion, this is the man you think about. And it so touched me when I asked him one or two things about skill, and he told me that was last 2 weeks. I said, look, Valentine, skill is everything. And then look, a lot of people out there, they forget so easily that we are getting to the point, if we're not there already, where if your skill is not in place, look, maybe your resume will come in second. The first thing will ask you, how skilled, how experienced are you? Do you have the skill for this thing? And so he thought about, look, you know what? Let me use audiovisual, right, and sharpen the skill of youths out there to help them focus on things that are important and not allow them derail. Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome no other but Mr. Ademola Akitoye, the founder of Ai Multimedia. Did I get your name correctly?
Yeah. Actually, Akitoye.
Akitoye.
Yes.
See that? I knew that at some point I need to flog myself, but let me. Right. So tell me, first of all, how's it been?
Yeah. Thank you, Valentine, for inviting me.
Yes, please.
I'm really happy that
You're
I
welcome.
want to speak to. Talk to a lot of youth out there. It's been wonderful because when you touch lives of thousands of youths, youths who don't even know what they want to do, they don't understand what they want to do, and you begin to impact in them, various skills in production, in media, creative design, digital skills. Then you are fulfilled, even if you are not making millions, you are not millionaire already, but the lives you've touched is something to you.
Valuable money.
As we all know, the currency of the present and the future is appropriate skill. So if you don't have it, I'm sorry.
You're sleeping on the bicycle.
Honestly.
So, there's a lot we'll have to talk about, most definitely. But at least for what it's worth, we've opened the door. They now understand what we're heading to. Now, we all know that youth these days, from one reason or the other, those who have said, look, that the future actually depends on the decisions they make today. That's why I actually have a holistic, topic, which is decision making, and obviously narrow it down to skill and its benefits. But the thing is, how motivated do you think youth are today, right? When it comes to picking out the skill, pick out the struggle, and be determined to see you through. I know parents are listening out there. If your child, or if you have a child probably who is an adolescent now, about to become a teenager or something like that, parents are, they get a bit, put this word, anxious to know, is this child going to come out to be something great? Will I be able to depend on this child, to do something that tomorrow, right, can pay the bills? Do you think youth today, from one reason or the other, are ready to stay focused on skill, if at all they have it?
Youths themselves or teenagers themselves may not be able to take appropriate decision without guidance. That is where parents or guardians come in.
Yes.
So we need to guide them in appropriate, ways. And for a younger one who just left secondary school, or someone who is young who left university, without appropriate skill,
So it's possible. When you say young, what age range?
when I mean by young, it's maybe a teenager, for example. But I'm arriving somewhere.
Okay. Go
I'm
ahead.
still going to talk about the foundation.
Yes, sure.
So such a person without appropriate skill will find himself floating around, at the end of his or her education. So the best way to tackle it is to begin to guide them from childhood. You know, we have to understand the global demand for skill. In what area? Is it in IT? Is it in marketing? Is it in sales, in production, robotics, artificial intelligence?
AI.
You know, so we have to begin to channel their energy. You know, youth, teenagers, they have a lot of energy in there, and if it is not directed appropriately, they will misuse it.
Boom.
Yes.
I have the fuss right there. This discussion is getting quite interesting. They will misuse it, so I have to guide them. I have a quote here. This quote here is just in line with what we're discussing. It says, hold on one second. Yes. Thank you. This one here says, making good decisions is a crucial skill at every level. Do you agree?
Yes, very
Okay.
well.
Okay.
A good decision is very critical.
Okay.
You know, and the way I, you know, structure it for my own kids is as they are growing up, maybe probably when they start talking, 3, 4, 5, I started introducing them to general knowledge, you know, in computing.
What about exercise?
Yes, sure.
Because very important.
So,
Yeah.
I take them through all the general skills.
Yes.
Like computing parts, you know, typing skill, office application, Microsoft Excel, PowerPoint. Then I begin to test their reasoning, you know, their level of reasoning. I introduce them to what we call scratch programming, where they use blocks, you know, to do logics and make decisions.
So that
You
their
know,
brain will develop
their brain would develop
around the area of problem solving.
yeah,
and all that
problem
stuff.
solving. And
Wow.
all that. Then I love the line. I take them into visuals, like graphics, videos. Then at that point, you now begin to identify the interest of individual child. You know, you introduce them to readings, writings, and all that. Then along that line, you now pick the interest of that particular child. Does he like something visual? Does he like something programming? Does he like to write or read?
Draw.
Or draw? So you begin to
Was he an active child that you
Yes.
think this one can go and join
Yes.
the army? Or
So you introduce them to that general skill.
yeah.
Then as they grow up, they now pick, you know, their individual interest. With their individual interest, then you can now support them. If someone who likes visuals, you can encourage that person to learn graphics, animation, video productions, and all that. If he likes programming, you can help him further into other programming skills.
I'll pause you again. This is getting more interesting. My guest in the building, Mr. Ademola. Help me pronounce again. Akitoye. That's it. You know, founder Ai Multimedia, and someone who is so passionate about, you know, helping young people, youth to develop, and first and foremost to identify the skill, help them identify a good skill and help them develop it. And he does all this through visuals. And the interesting thing is that you get motivated, and that's why he's on the show. If you're still listening, and you're right there, this is still Sweat. We'll take a break. When we come back, I see my guests in the building. I know you guys are itching to say, when I will open the phone lines, I will open the phone lines. This is still Sweat. It's just that it's a version where it's more, you know, give and take, and not just a monologue, but a dialogue. 99.3 Nigeria info. Don't touch that dial. Let's go this break. We'll be right back. This is
Sweat. Strength will exceed anything else. Sweat. With Valentine the Motivator.
Right back. I had to just take that break so I could adjust something in the studio. I know you guys understand. I still have my guest in the studio, Mr. Ademola. Yes, where you stopped. Can you continue?
Yeah. My general advice to parents out there, you know, listening. If you have a child who left secondary school very early, like age 15, you know, 14, you know, you don't rush them to university. There's no reason, you know, rushing them. Let them pick one particular skill, maybe like for 1 year or thereabout, or 2 years thereabout. You know, that by that time they've developed their brain, they've understand process. When they get to university, probably by the age of 17 or 18, they understand a lot of things. You know, when they get it means they're already skilled. So along that line, when they finish their university, I'm sure a job will be waiting for them.
A job waiting for them. It is a fast-paced moving Nigeria. Even though our economy is somehow, but we know that there's always great hope ahead, right?
Yeah.
I still have about some few minutes with you before I let it go. But before that, let me jump into this. I know you guys are following, so you guys are really picking one or two stuff. But I want to say a lot. I have quotes here, so allow me to check this one out. So this one on decision says, "You and only you are responsible for the life choices and decisions." My first quote out of 10. Do you agree? It says, "You and only you are responsible for the life choices and decisions." What do you think?
Yes, it's correct.
Yes.
Provided you are an adult.
Aha! See, that's why I brought this up. So people understand that. Hold on, you know, if you're still below a certain age, you need guidance.
Yeah, you need
Isn't it
guidance.
so?
Yes, you need
I like
guidance.
that. Hope I didn't put that in the boss.
No.
Yeah, so go ahead.
So what I'm saying in essence is that, like I said initially, the currency of the future and the present is appropriate skill. So we need to guide this young one, you know, taking appropriate skill. The unemployment rates in our country is so huge. It's alarming. You have a lot of graduates who are unemployable. You have graduates who cannot fit into industries. And what do you do? Do you sit back and just, you know, let them waste away? So you have to encourage them to pick up skills, you know, relevant skill that is, you know, in tune with the global trend.
Boom! I have the posse again. You know, time is of the essence. Right, we'll move into our second part of it. We're going to the third part of our discussion and interview. I'm still speaking with Mr. Ademola, founder, Ai Multimedia. When it comes to anything visual, you need to check him out. They're also on Instagram at AI_Multimedia. Now, at this point, before I let you go, because I know they're waiting, I'm very sure when the first caller comes through, you'll be like, how come the lines have not been flowing? You know, but I'll open it very soon, right? Don't forget, I have 10 quotes. I've given you one. I also have the audio standing by. But quickly before we jump away, what are the things that AI Multimedia right now are working on that youths can get out of?
Yes, we presently working with Lagos State Employment Trust Fund and USADF. The mandate is to train number of youths in Lagos State on appropriate skill. Especially my industry covers creative, like production, graphics, animation, photography, video editing, motion graphics, and so on. So
you know, I'm still a producer. I'm seeing opportunity here for work.
So we started with LSTF and USADF early this year. And we've trained quite a number of youths, about 24 in total. We are at the third batch of the program. It's a completely free program for the residents of Lagos State.
It's important to know, because
Yes.
if you had to do people, I said,
It's a free program that the residents of Lagos State, mainly youths, can key into.
Yes. All right. So thank you so much for dropping by. We have to let you go because of time. Are you on social media?
Yes, sure. We're on social media. You know, a simple Google search AI Multimedia Academy will reveal a lot. We are on Facebook. Just search for AI Multimedia Academy. We are on Instagram, AI_Multimedia. We are on LinkedIn and virtually every social media platform. We're on YouTube too.
Awesome.
So
and by the way, hey, just stay close to YouTube. A lot of material will be coming through.
Yes.
God, I can't see. Well, let me not talk. Thank you so much for coming through. I know you'll still be in the studio with me. Don't mind me. The minute 30 minutes now, I have to give it to this guy. He's already calling. Seriously. Thank you for coming through, Mr. Ademola. Hopefully our next session, I know this is not going to be the end. Our next session, we'll have a different topic to follow through. And we'll hear more. Skill acquisition. and the benefits. But you have to make a decision first. And for those of you who are below 18, you need a guidance counselor, or you need maybe your parents to stick by you and to say, hey, I stick with you and I'll make that decision for you. But daddy and mommy, make the right decision. It's very important. Isn't it so?
Yes. Sure.
All right. Thank you so much for dropping by.
Thank you.
Yes.